Good morning. It's 6:42 right now, and Washington is hoping to pass a big tax bill this week, a very busy week. They're hoping to finish this by the end of 2017.
Tax reform has become a big issue, and Iowa Senator Charles Grassley joins us now live from Washington to discuss tax reform. Good morning, Senator Grassley. Thanks for waking up with us. There are two versions right now of the tax plan, one in the House, one in the Senate. Tell us a little bit about what's in the Senate plan that you think will benefit Iowans.
Well, I think benefiting Iowans or across the nation, the emphasis is upon middle-class income tax cuts. Now, nationally, that would come out for the 132 million taxpayers about an average of $1,500. In Iowa, between the growth of wages that comes as a result of tax reduction, plus tax reduction, that would be for businesses, plus tax reduction for individuals, it should come out of about $2,600 additional income or expenditure money for a family of four. And that's a result of a study by the Tax Foundation on the Senate bill primarily. And I think real benefit comes from the economic value of making our businesses that are in global competition much more competitive, because the United States at 35% has the highest tax rate in the world. The industrialized nations are usually in the low 20s, and some countries down into the low teens, so it makes it difficult for us to compete. And when you lower corporate tax rates, at least 25% of that is going to go for increased wages for our workers, middle-class workers most of the time, and that would very much benefit the economy and create jobs and put more money in people's pockets, make us more competitive.
Now, of course, one of the worries is that this will really cut into revenues here in America. How can you tell us the government is going to pay for all of these tax cuts?
Yeah. Your question is based on the proposition that if you reduce taxes, you're going to reduce income. Now, what we call static scoring, that works out for the Congressional Budget Office to tell you that. But really, what it does, it'll put more capital in the economy, it'll create more jobs. We don't have to have higher tax rates to bring money in, we have to have more taxpayers. And by increasing employment in this country by 1 million employees as a result of this growth in the economy, that's where we're going to make up the lost revenue that you're talking about. And that's not just with this tax bill. Throughout our history of the last 100 years, that's been typical of pretty much every tax bill.
Senator Grassley, one of the criticisms has been that these proposed changes benefit corporations and companies more than they do working class families. What do you say to that?
Well, let me put that to rest, because I asked this very question a week ago in our committee. I said we've always had a goal of keeping the distribution from low income to high income about the same as it is under existing law. And let me just give the top 1% pay 40% of the income tax, and when we're done, that top 1% will still be paying 40% of the income. They will get some tax cuts, yes, but middle income people are going to get tax cuts as well. Now, there's 132 million taxpayers pay income tax, file the income tax forms. I can't guarantee you that every one of those 132 million people are going to get a tax cut, so you have to deal with averages, and that average is about 15% more money in the pockets of middle income taxpayers.
One more question with Senator Charles Grassley. Now, also part of the intent of this tax reform here, Senator, is to simplify the very complicated tax code here in America, correct?
It does it several ways, but let me give you the simplest explanation of tax simplification. Presently, about 30 or 40% of the people make out the long form. We increased the standard deduction from $12,000 to $24,000, so probably only about 10% of the people will fill out the long form. So for 90% of the people, they've got very much a simplified tax form that probably will be able to be done on a page. Maybe not on a postcard as you've heard advertised, but on a page or so, just because that's the short form.
And Senator Grassley, you said you're hopeful this is going to pass before the end of the year.
Yes, I'll give you this. Coming out of Finance Committee this week, passing the House of Representatives, the full House this week. The Senate takes it up the week after Thanksgiving, passes Senate that week, gives us 2 weeks to be in conference to work out the difference between the House and Senate, and then it can't be amended or changed in the House or Senate, voted up or down. Should get it to the President by the Saturday before Christmas.
Senator Grassley, it sounds like you've got a lot of work to do in the next few weeks to make that happen. We appreciate you taking some time with us this morning.
Thank you very much, Brooke.
Going to have a very busy week out there in Washington. Try to make this go a lot more smoothly than the healthcare stuff did. Wow, that did not go well.